Hi, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Bastian Weekly, your source for news on roles, recruitment, supply chain, and tech. So, just in terms of roles today, wanted to mention a couple of projects we're working on. Currently working on a sales director role for a Swiss headquartered ocean freight forwarder that's looking to expand their operations into Australia. If you've got a sales background in ocean freight, I think it'd be a great and exciting opportunity. We've got a number of BDMs, including with a ag tech IoT supply chain company. Multiple roles we are recruiting. Locations include WA, Tasmania, South Australia, and Queensland. If you're based in any of those locations, have a background in IoT devices, ag tech, produce, protein, general, agricultural supply chain, we'd love to talk to you about those roles. We are looking for a master production schedule for a locally Australian-owned packaging manufacturing company, Western Melbourne location, exciting brand new role and a state-of-the-art manufacturing facility. If you're a manufacturing professional, love being on site and love being amongst it, this is a great role with a growing business. We are looking for a solutions architect, Sydney or Melbourne location, pre-IPO unicorn, U.S. headquarters, really smart supply chain software tool. If you've got a background in S&OP or IVP and solutions architect technical experience, I think this would be a great role for you. And the last role I wanted to mention quickly today was a business development director in New Zealand with an APAC leading supply chain advisory business. If you sold supply chain advisory services or consulting services before, or you come from a contract logistics warehousing sales background, I think this would be a very exciting role for you. Role is based in Auckland, competitive salary on offer, and a great working culture. Just a couple quick points or data points on recruitment. A couple of reports read this morning. Growth in advertised salaries flattening out. So again, I think that's a sign that the market is softening. But there is a higher demand for executive positions than anticipated. So it's still peaking at the moment. So what my assumption is the market softening in terms of operational mid-level roles, but there still is a demand maybe at the high end for some senior opportunities. At least that's what the data is saying. And then again, just a couple things on the supply chain I wanted to mention quickly. A couple hours ago, US and Japan announced a very large deal around the supply of minerals for EV batteries. Again, we've been talking about EV vehicles, EVs, and precious metals a bunch on the Bastian Weekly, whether it be for the production of the electric vehicles or batteries, or also the security and supply of precious metals that go into your semiconductors and your microchips and things of that nature. A lot of investment, a lot of attention, and a lot of effort being put into those particular areas right now across the region and globally to ensure supply and security of supply for manufacturing, but also for defense. So it's just an area that I continue to monitor and I think is incredibly interesting. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention quickly was, and again, I don't know if this is just hearsay, I'm also not an economist, but if you've been reading any of the reports the last couple of days, Russia and China's pact to move away from the USD as a global currency for trading and for valuing is really interesting and worrying at the same time. What its impact will be is, I'm not smart enough to say what it's going to be, but I think from a supply chain perspective, the ease of trade and the cost of trade are pretty standardized right now, especially for Western markets like here in Australia or across the APAC region. So it'll be really interesting to see if the adoption of the yuan, certainly by other countries, continues to happen, and what that impact will be in terms of ease of trade, cost of trade, and just market pressures because of the transition from one currency to the Chinese yuan. So something really interesting to keep an eye on. Whether we should be worried or not depends on who you listen to. But it's definitely a topic worth monitoring moving forward. So anyways, that's it for us this week. If you have any questions, concerns, or comments, or anything in general you'd like to ask us, leave it in the comment section below. And we'll see you guys next time. Cheers. Take care.